Check. Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Today we start week 14. Believe it or not, we have 3 more weeks together, and we're finished. We're almost finished with the semester. Yay. So, this week, we have a PROPE project coming up. What's our date? When is our PROPE project? November 23rd. And what time? From what time to what time do we have?
10 a.m. to 12.
Very good. So from 10 in the morning until 12. This week, I would like for us to work on what we can present or include in our PROPE project. So this week, you're going to be asked to work together with your teams, your country teams for your project. All right, so there are some instructions that I want to talk about, how we want to work this week. And everything that I talk about that's displayed on the screen, you also have access in Google Docs. So if you want to also check on your phone and look at these same instructions, you may do so. But let's take a look here at first the overview of what I'd like for us to work on this week. So the first thing I'll ask that you do is form into your PROPE project groups or your teams and determine who will write each of the following 4 types of paragraphs. Now, how many members are in your team? Does everybody have? Okay, so some of you have 5 members. So I'm going to present today 4 types of paragraphs. If you have 5 members in your team, you will need to come up with 1 additional topic to write a paragraph about. Okay, and we can work together on what that is. But let me talk about the 4 different types of paragraphs, since most of you already have just 4 members. All right, so the first paragraph will be one that describes the country. So each of you has a country: Australia, Ireland, Germany, Japan, Morocco, okay, Spain, Brazil, thank you. All right. Those are the countries that you're going to choose to talk about. So describe your country and include at least 3 question words: who, why, how, when, and where. So when you describe your country, think about, all right, what the country is, maybe, how the country came about, why the country, like what does it produce, maybe. But think of the question words that you can use to describe your country. So this will be 1 paragraph. The second paragraph, describe how you work together this week to create all non-writing 1 outcomes. Now, what does this mean? This is a kind of a reflective paragraph where you talk about how your group worked together. Who did what? How do you work together? How did you reach decisions? Because a lot of what you're going to do this week, your group is going to have to decide, how do you want to work? Do you want to work all together as a team all week? Or are there certain activities that some of you are going to work on individually? Some might work in pairs. But this paragraph allows us to know how you decided to work together. Very specifically, who did what and how you worked for achieving this project. Okay? So this is all related to non-writing 1 outcomes. So this is like how you worked in other classes. Okay, so not so much in this class. How did you come up with your reading part of your project? How did you come up with your listening and speaking part of your PROPE project? Okay, so again, this is all related to other classes, not so much in this particular class. Number 3, the next type of paragraph. Explain any team challenges that you overcame this semester in any of your PROPE classes. Now, this is a different type of reflection. This is a reflection of any challenges that you as a group, as a team, faced throughout this semester. It can be in any course, but you're going to have to talk to each other and come up with some ideas. So this is not your own personal challenge. This is your challenges as a team, right? So you can talk about, okay, well, this was a challenge, and we overcame it this way. Okay, so it can be in this class in writing. It can be in reading. It can be listening and speaking, strategies, any class that you want to talk about. But it's as a team, and it's for the whole semester. What did you overcome for this semester? All right, so this is different than the second paragraph. The second paragraph is only for this particular project, okay? And you describe how you work together in other classes. But number 3, this is different. This is like for all the classes and any challenges that you faced as a team and how you overcame them. All right, number 4. Hello. Yes? Yes?
Perdón que lo interrumpa. Lo que pasa es que estoy buscando donadores de sangre y no sé si me dejaría pasar a Susana.
¿Dar un mensaje? Sí, pasa. Sí.
Hola chicos, buenos días. El motivo de que esté aquí con ustedes el día de hoy, le pedí permiso a Ticha mañana, es porque una de mis tías le acaban de detectar cáncer de mama y lamentablemente el cáncer pues, es maligno, pero es lo que tiene. Entonces necesitan operarla lo más rápido posible y estamos buscando donadores de sangre. Si alguien de ustedes puede o sabe de alguien que pueda donar, de verdad se los agradecería mucho.
Claro. Sí.
El lugar en donde para poder ir a, en este caso, donar es en el centro de transfusión sanguínea que está atrás del hospital de la mujer. Yo les doy los datos. Un positivo. Les voy a apuntar mi número de teléfono y también el número de mi prima para igual si gusta comunicarse directamente. Y pues, a ver, el horario sería de 7 a 12. De verdad, si alguien sabe, se los agradecería muchísimo. Muchas gracias.
No, de nada.
Hasta
Okay.
luego.
All right. Bye. Okay, guys. So, looking at now the fourth type of paragraph. Present 2 to 4 key successes that you achieved as a team this semester. So, as in point 3, we talk about the challenges. Point number 4, as a team, talk about it and decide, okay, what are the challenges, or I'm sorry, the successes that you achieved as a team. Talk individually, but come together, get ideas as a team. And then this person who's in charge of this paragraph will write up a paragraph talking about 2 to 4 key successes. All right, so we've got 4 types of paragraphs. You have 4 members in your team. Each member should develop each one of those paragraphs. Again, if you have 5 members of your team, we'll decide on another topic. You can decide as a group a 5th topic, right, that you can write about, and we can talk about it and decide what will be the 5th type of paragraph. So these are the types of paragraphs that you'll work together as a team, but individually you'll create, again, each of those paragraphs. All right. Does this make sense so far, guys? Any questions? Hasta ahí? Okay, again, and you decide as a team who's going to do what. Who wants to write the paragraph on the country? Who wants to write describe, how you work together this week, and so on. Details. Now, in the details here, each of the 4 points above should be developed as one unified, coherent, and cohesive paragraph. Okay, so each paragraph should have 5 to 8 sentences, and each paragraph should combine 3 different types of transitions. Transitions that we've talked about in class quite a bit, right? Sentence connectors, introductory phrases, subordinating clauses. Each team member is responsible for 1 paragraph. If more than 4 members make up a team, then an additional topic should be developed. This is what I was talking about before. So decide together as a team, what is that 5th topic? What's that 5th paragraph going to be about? And you can write about that. Each team member is responsible for developing and analyzing their respective paragraph. Developing and analyzing. So we're going to be working on not only developing, creating a paragraph, but then we're going to analyze it. Just like you do, maybe how you do it in grammar class. We're going to put on our grammar hats and analyze what we wrote. So let's look at analyzing a paragraph. Analyzing a paragraph should include the following. All team members should follow the same system for analyzing their paragraphs. Now, what does that mean? So when you analyze your paragraph and you're identifying different types of clauses and sentences and phrases, you need to come up with a system. You can use a color coding system. You can make annotations, write notes, and underline. But come up with a system and be consistent in the system that you use for each of your 4 paragraphs. Because each of you is going to analyze each of your paragraphs. So it'll be nice to be consistent. If you're going to highlight in red main clauses, then everybody highlight in red all the main clauses so that there's some consistency in how you analyze. That just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so make sure as a team you decide on a system. How do you want to analyze your paragraph? The next point, indicate different sentence types. All right, so when you develop your paragraph, you'll need to identify the different sentence types. What are the sentence types? Well, we have, what kind of sentences do we have? Simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence. Now, I threw in an extra one here. I threw in an extra type of sentence, and this is called a compound complex sentence. Now, compound complex sentence, what do you think that is? What kind of sentence is that? And some of you have already written compound complex sentences. Maybe you didn't know it. What's a compound complex sentence? No idea. None whatsoever. What's a compound sentence? Okay, 2 main clauses. Good. Complex sentence. 1 main clause and 1 subordinate clause. Excellent. So, what is a compound complex sentence?
Main clause, subordinate clause, and coordinating.
Okay, you're close. What is a compound sentence, first of all? What is a compound sentence? Okay. And what is a complex sentence? Okay. So what is a compound complex sentence? What does it have? Sorry? 2 main clauses and a subordinating clause or a relative clause. So in that sentence, how many clauses will we have? 3. 2 main clauses and a subordinating clause or a relative clause. Okay, so we'll have one sentence with 3 clauses. The other sentences can be just 2 clauses or 1 clause, depending on the type of sentence. All right, so the next point. Indicate different clause types. Main clause, subordinating clause, and relative clause. Basically, those 3 are the ones we've talked about in class. The next point, indicate different phrase types. Noun phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase, and participial phrase. Participial phrase. We'll look at some examples of participial phrases. I think we've talked quite a bit about noun phrases and verb phrases and prepositional phrases, but we can review those as well this week. And the last point, indicate all parts of speech. What's the parts of speech? Noun, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs. That's it? No more? Prepositions, good. Prepositions. Connectors is another part of speech. Interjection, saying, wow, we only have 3 weeks left. What's the interjection? Wow. That's an interjection. Wow. Okay, parts of speech. So, this is what we're going to use to include our paragraph. So guess what, my friends? When analyzing your paragraph, we don't have to analyze every word. Okay? So don't feel like you have to analyze every single word. But you need to analyze at least 1 to 3 examples of each of the grammatical structures that are included in this list. we need to analyze at least 1 to 3 examples of everything that's listed in this list. Okay? So when you're developing your paragraph, you might review this list as you're developing it. Say, okay, am I writing a compound complex sentence here? Okay. Do I have a prepositional phrase? Okay. Do I have, I don't know, a participial phrase, etc.? Okay, so maybe refer to this list when you're creating your paragraph so that you can try to create or include those grammatical structures that you need. In other words, you need a paragraph that exemplifies, that has examples, at least of one of the grammatical structures above in order to identify it. All right, so this is what we're going to do here. We have to analyze our paragraph. First we develop it, then we analyze our paragraph. Team communication. Team communication, very important. This week requires, like in past weeks, good communication between each team member. A successful week will include a team who maintains good communication in determining who is to do what. So it's very important that you guys talk to each other and figure out who's going to do what, that everybody is what's called on the same page, that you are in agreement with who's doing what. And obviously that everybody's doing his or her part. Sometimes it's harder to work in teams. I get it. I mean, I'm reading all of your reflections too, and I'm agreeing with you. I totally agree. Sometimes some people say, and I totally get this. Some say, "Oh, I like to work better individually, because when I work in teams, some team members don't do his or her part. And sometimes it's harder to work in teams," and it is. I agree. I agree. I totally agree. But guess what? In the real world, right, we have to work with others. And we have to learn to be responsible and be accountable and for our teammates, right? Our teammates depend on us. We depend on our teammates. So here's the thing. I want you to be aware of the importance of communication, to be able to work out and be here in class, of course. Make sure that you're doing your part. If any one of you ever feels that you're doing more than anybody else, first of all, I would suggest talk to your team. Say, look, I don't think this is fair. I'm doing more than whatever. Somebody else needs to make sure that it's equal, the amount of work that you're doing. If some of your teammates aren't doing his or her share, if you want to come to me also, that's fine. I can try to intervene. I will try to help. But the important thing is that you have good communication with your team members and that everyone is doing his or her share. That one person's not doing more than everybody else. All right. Team leaders. Now, I already see some team leaders that I emailed this morning are not here yet, so I need to send out some emails. Some of you have received an email from me this morning of your document. I know Jessica has hers, and I think Diana, I sent one to you. I sent one to Fatima. She's not here. And I'm trying to remember the other, somebody else. I don't remember now. But this is the document. This is the document where I would like for you guys to work. This is for Australia. Who has Australia? Or is this the other group? Okay. What do you guys? Brazil? You guys have Brazil? Somebody? Okay, Brazil. All right. Let's open Brazil. It's pretty much the same document. So here I've got a document for each country. Did anybody receive an email from me this morning for Brazil? Ruby, did I send? No? A ver. Oh, you don't have a cell phone? Okay. Let me check something. Belinda, she's not here. All right, so what I'm going to do here in a few minutes, because the people, some of the team leaders aren't here, so I will send another email to those who are here. But I would like that all of the team members, for example, in Brazil, who has Brazil besides Belinda and Ruby? Okay. So make sure that the 4 of you have access to this document. Yeah, I'm trying to cancel. There we go. Oh, no, I don't want that. Okay. So all of you, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'm going to remove PD. So PD kids, we don't want PD to see our stuff. All right. Not until next week. Then all the teachers can see your work. All right. So the point here is that the four of you can access this one document. This is where you're going to work. This is where each one of you is going to create your paragraph and also analyze your work. Okay. Each team will have your own documents. Okay. Now, what's the point here? This is our essential question for this week because no week is complete without an essential question, right? So this week, our essential question is, how do I express what I've learned so far this semester in PROPE? Now, of course, we're talking about our country, Brazil. So we want to demonstrate some knowledge and understanding of Brazil. But we also want to analyze something that we've learned, in this case, in academic writing. And also, what have we learned about how to work together? I hope that you've learned something about yourself and maybe from others how you work together. Okay, so it's really important this week. I want us to focus on teamwork, being fair, being transparent, making sure that we're all doing our jobs. And I can't stress enough the importance of not waiting until the last minute. Not waiting until Thursday night at midnight to think about our paragraph that's due on Friday. Especially this week. Why? Because your partners depend on you. Your partners depend on your outcomes, your results. So, let's go back to our list here. Remember, guys, we have 4 different paragraphs. Some of this, before you can even begin writing your paragraph, you're going to need to talk to each other first. Okay, you're going to need to talk to each other about especially points number 2 and number 3 and number 4, especially. Points number 1, maybe you can just write out whatever you've learned and practiced and got from other classes. That's fine. But points number 2, 3, and 4 is going to require that you talk to each other and figure out, some answers some answers to these questions or to these points. All right. Does anyone have? I know this is there's a lot of instructions here, and I'm sharing all of these instructions with all of you in Google Classroom so that you can review these instructions. But does anyone have any questions about what we want to work on this week for our PROPE projects? No questions? Remember our PROPE projects. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to schedule other upperclassmen, students in the BA from first semester, third semester, and seventh semester. I'm not sure about fifth. But I know HCI first semester and third semester from Los Optativas and seventh semester from academic writing. They're coming in at different times. So one group is going to come in from 10 in the morning until 10:30, first semester. From 10:30 to 11, the other HSAE group is coming because there's 2 groups. From 11 to 11:30, third semester is going to be coming, visiting you. And from 11:30 to 12, the 7th semester group is going to come and visit you. Okay, visit your stands. Come back and talk to you and maybe even give you some positive feedback. Okay, some positive feedback. We want to keep this all positive and eventful. But it's very important for our students and the upperclassmen and upper levels to come and interact with you so that you can practice speaking and get to know them and they can get to know you and what you know about your country. All right, so this part of your PROPE project for this class is going to include these paragraphs, these 4 paragraphs or 5, depending on how many team members, and your analysis, your understanding of this. And again, points number 2, points number 3, points number 4, they're very reflective, right? They're reflective in nature. So really talk to your team members. Okay, what I don't want to happen, guys, what I don't want is someone to choose number 2 or number 3 or number 4, not talk to your team members and just write up some individual reflection. Okay, these are not individual reflections. This is going to be a collection of ideas from your team members that one person is going to write about. And you don't have to give the person's name. You don't have to say, Ruby says this, Ruby thinks that this, her challenge was this. No. But I'm going to talk to Ruby, and she's going to tell me what her challenges were, and I'm going to say, some team members, right, think this or had this challenge. Someone, I'm going to say, put it like this, someone, not Ruby, thinks this. No. All right, so it's going to be confidential. It's just going to be between you and your team members. But talk to your team members. Someone who has blue hair, who is in PROPE A, who is 5'4", I don't know how tall you are. No. Yeah, exactly. Right. All right, so let's go ahead and start, guys. We have a lot of things here to work on. And so go ahead and get into your teams. Make sure, I'm going to go ahead and share, in this case, Brazil. And who's in Fatima's group? Okay, Spain. Okay, so I need to check Spain and Brazil to make sure that you guys have... Yes? You have one team member that's in the other PROPE? Okay, you have one... okay. Okay. Yeah, do you have Francisco's email? Okay, yeah, so go ahead and include him. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Anybody else cursando? No sé si hay otros casos. Okay. Go ahead and share, add his name to your list. And tengo que checar si va a presentar con ustedes o no. Pero luego les digo eso. Pero si quieres mientras en esta semana, si él puede... How many members do you have in your... 4? 5 with him. Okay. All right. Haven't thought about that one. All right. Let me think about it. Let me sleep on it, and I'll tomorrow I'll tell you. The good thing is you have 4 members, right? So go ahead and begin with these 4 with the PROPE group. All right, and then let me think about, because I got to think if he's going to be here for the whole presentation. Have you talked to him or the other teachers about his case? No? Okay. Let me check it, and I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Okie dokie. All right, so let me start with Brazil. And let me share this. Ruby, I'm going to share this with you. If you could share this with the rest of your group, please. Which one is your... This one here? All right. And who was the other one? Spain? Let's see. Fernanda, are you in this? No?
Fernanda registró.
Pero es P.
Ahí está.
Okay, guys, go ahead and get in your groups. I think maybe the first thing is go ahead and share the document so that everybody has access to the document. Please work as much as you can in the document. I understand sometimes it's difficult in class to be connected, but please every 2 days, just go up and upload something to the document, because then that helps me kind of know how things are going. All righty?